Nebraska's third year under Matt Rhule has brought high expectations for the 2025 season. Is this a team that can truly make a college football playoff run? Everyone kind of expects that to happen. They have the right pieces in place. They have the quarterback and the offensive coordinator to make this offense good. And the magical third year for Matt Rhule typically brings some explosive results. Now, we're going to start with the obvious. Matt Rhule has done a lot of exciting things at previous schools. You look at what he did at Baylor, you look at what he did at Temple, and Nebraska has every reason to be excited. They have every reason to have optimism for the 2025 season. Year 3 at Baylor and Temple were some really exciting years. They did a lot of exciting things, and it's a big reason why first he got promoted from Temple to Baylor, and then he got promoted from Baylor to the Carolina Panthers. This is the third year that, whether or not that trend continues, the expectations for this team are super high. And it feels like they did a good job of bringing the right players back. They also did a good job of bringing talent in from the transfer portal. But the biggest thing that they did, I think, was making Dana Holgorsen the offensive coordinator. Dylan Raiola is a super talented player that has yet to hit his ceiling. I think he has yet to hit his stride, but we did see glimpses of that in 2024. Dana Holgorsen is a great offensive mind. Time at Houston did not work out. It wasn't a good fit in the end, and ultimately both sides decide they're going to move on. He joins Nebraska as an analyst, takes over as the offensive coordinator, and it was instant that you saw that, hey, this is actually better than what we had for the beginning of the season. And Raiola needs to be a big part of this offense for them to be successful. He needs to live up to the exciting hype that's placed on him. When you choose Nebraska over Georgia, over all of these different schools that you could have gone to, you're essentially doing something that not a lot of people do, and there's a lot more pressure on you actually to win and be successful because you're going to a place where you don't have the talent that maybe you do at a Georgia. Maybe you don't have the talent that you would have at other schools. That's going to be a tough situation for him to navigate, and you have to have the right coordinator in place because with a young player like Dylan Raiola, there are going to be times where he just needs a play that's going to be dialed up so perfectly that he doesn't need to make a big time throw. And that's kind of the partnership that a quarterback and an offensive coordinator have. Sometimes it's on the offensive coordinator to draw up the right play where you draw up the perfect pass play and a guy's wide open because of the routes that were run. And your quarterback just has to make an easy throw. And sometimes you say, Dylan, we need you to make this throw. It's going to be tough, but we need you to fit in this tight window. Sometimes that's going to happen. And Dylan Raiola is one of those quarterbacks that has the ability to do that. And obviously people talk about the comparisons to Patrick Mahomes. Whether or not you like that or not, if you think it's corny, it's kind of irrelevant. There are definitely some traits in Dylan Raiola's game that mirror Patrick Mahomes. He is not Patrick Mahomes by any means, but he has the talent to make some of those throws that are going to keep those comparisons going. And when you give him an offense that is run by Dana Holgorsen, and Dana Holgorsen's a guy who just loves the game of football. He loves dialing up plays. He loves coaching offense. He loves being a play caller. And it's very evident that he's good at what he does. That partnership is going to do wonders for this team because this is a team that defensively did a lot of good things last year. The offense just didn't do its part. And I truly expect this defense to be just as good as it was last year, if not better. You do lose some talent, but you also have players that come in and are able to keep that play going. You have guys that you're excited about their potential, and Matt Rhule's staff has done a great job of recruiting. The offense just has to do its part. Now, the one thing that they did do was they did not wait for their guys to develop. They brought in competition for Dylan Raiola to throw to downfield. You bring in a Dane Key, who's extremely explosive. At Kentucky, at 47 catches for 715 yards and 2 touchdowns. You bring in Isaiah Hunter from Cal, 578 yards and 5 touchdowns. You also return Ja'Cory Barney Jr., who was a freshman last year, had a big impact on this offense, gives them the flexibility to do some things with him that you can't do with a lot of other players. So you have the guys coming back that should help Dylan Raiola make an improvement in 2025. Emmett Johnson is back at running back. You still want to see that rushing attack be a factor. And then you also have some transfers coming in on the offensive line that elevate your team to another level. You bring in Elijah Pritchett from Alabama. That's a guy that I don't think a lot of Nebraska fans thought they could potentially get. You give yourself a great player on the line. And oh, by the way, you do bring in Rocco Spindler as well from Notre Dame, a guy who was a big part of a national championship team, or a team that made it to the national championship, a contender for that title. So you're looking at this as a potential team to make some noise in 2025. And this is a team that has the ability to make a run because they had the right talent in place. You have the quarterback, and then you added some supplemental pieces that are able to help in that regard. And the offense is going to be a big reason why. If the defense takes a slight step back, which they might, that should still be really exciting if you are the Nebraska Cornhuskers. That's an exciting opportunity for this team to take things to another level because they have the offense that can elevate their game so that if the defense does take a step back, they're still in good hands. Now, the one thing I'll say is this is a team that is going to have a schedule that allows them to win football games. You don't see Oregon, you don't see Ohio State, but you do have some challenging games. We're going to find out pretty quick if this team can actually take things to another level when they play Cincinnati. The Cincinnati Bearcats are not as good as Nebraska, but they can definitely beat the Cornhuskers. That being said, Nebraska, if they truly are where they need to be, they're going to win that game. You also then get certain games that are at home that probably would be more challenging, way more challenging on the road. Michigan is one of them. USC, Iowa, those games are at home where if you had to go on the road, you might feel a little bit weary about what that could be. You also have Penn State on the road, which is going to be your toughest game by far. Your toughest game is going to be a team that also wants to compete for a run at a college football playoff appearance and a national championship. A lot of people believe Penn State is the best team in the Big Ten, and giving yourself the opportunity to beat that team would be really exciting. And granted, it is at the end of the year, so we're going to know pretty clearly if Nebraska has a chance. That being said, when you look at the schedule does give you opportunities to build a ton of momentum and give you yourself a chance to win that football game. You do have to just navigate to that point, and they're not looking at that Penn State game. They're obviously looking at Cincinnati, but there are plenty of games leading up to that point that could test this team and challenge them in a way that maybe they weren't expecting. So that'll be really fun to watch. That'll be something that you want to keep an eye on, and it'll be fun to see how they build their momentum, build their confidence, because the month of November gives them plenty of difficult games. And if they're undefeated leading into the USC game, we're going to see a lot of excitement if the Trojans truly do their part as well. So Nebraska is in a great position. I think that you bring back the right pieces. Matt Rhule and his ability to coach will continue in 2025. You have the right combination of quarterback and offensive coordinator, and you have an offense that should be able to make up for any step back that the defense takes, even if they do take a step back. That's no guarantee either. There's plenty of talent to make sure that they don't take a step back, but if they do, they should be just fine. This will be a really fun team. It's going to take some time for everybody to potentially get up to speed, but I think that your schedule gives you a chance to kind of iron out the wrinkles in your team, and it'll be fun to see how explosive this team truly could be. Matt Rhule has his track record of winning in year 3, and everything right now, all signs point towards that happening for Nebraska this year.